Wow, somebody's asking, Big O, are you saying that Watson has lost his touch? That was in my point. I was trying to massage that. Yeah, I was trying to do that. Yeah, no doubt. All right, let's get to Anthony Chiang. Yes. Speaking of massages, aren't you big on massages also?
I need one right now. Yeah, I need one before the season starts. That's for sure.
So, is it true that Joe Cronin is asking for Spo's third child, right? Because he just had his second child, right?
Yes, yes.
And
Yes,
so,
no, yes,
is
yes.
it true that
Most,
he's
yeah.
asking for multiple first rounders, players, and Spo's third child that they're trying to work on right now? Is that true?
If he wasn't asking for all that, this deal would have been done by now, right? I mean, that's been the sticking point in all of this. The Blazers want the world for Damian Lillard because he is one of the best players in the NBA. He's one of the top 75 players of all time, according to the NBA's 75th anniversary team. And the Heat believe, A, there's no market for him. They're the only team really bidding for him at this point. And he's 33 years old with a contract that has over $200 million left on it. They're like, why are we going to give you all of that you want? So that's where we are at this point. I feel like a broken record, and I'm sorry, Big O, because I just say the same thing every week. But really, it's just there hasn't. That's kind of what the story is. Like nothing has really changed until one side blinks. This deal won't get done. I think eventually one side will blink, but it's just a matter of when.
And are you still thinking training camp here that because there's no way you go into training camp in the season with this mess. So I
Yeah.
just have a hard time believing that this is going to continue like this.
I want to believe that, right? Because it just doesn't make sense for them to bring him into camp into media day. That's been my prediction this entire time. I'm not going to go away from it, but as it gets closer, of course, like the chance of this spilling into camp and media day and preseason, the chance of that gets bigger as each day passes, right? And there's no trade. So I still think there'll be a heightened sense of urgency as we get closer and closer. We're 2 weeks away from the start of camp. I think exactly 2 weeks away today. So I think in the next week or two, and you've even seen it, right? You've seen it pick up a little bit. You know, Woj's reporting ESPN that Portland's talking to more teams, whether that's to get a third or fourth team in this type of deal. We'll see, but he's talking to more teams than he has in the past month. I think Woj reported. So executives are back from vacation. They're in the office again. Of course, naturally, there's going to be more buzz. But has there been serious movement on the trade front? I spoke to somebody yesterday, and the person I spoke to said there really hasn't been any big change as far as trade talks between the Heat and Blazers. So take that as you will. I'm sorry for the bad news, Heat fans.
No, it's fine. I mean, listen, right now it's kind of what we're hearing. There's nothing really going on. Although Tyler Hero kind of stirred it up this morning at 8:01. So he's been the center of trade talks, right? And whether it happens to a third team or not, he put out a little cryptic message on social media.
Yeah.
He posted a blue cap emoji, and that signifies a lie in reports of a trade. I didn't know that. I did not know that a hat means a lie.
Yeah.
What is that? Why does that mean a lie? Please walk a 56-year-old man through that.
Hey, I'm not that young either. I'm 34. Okay, so
What I hear, I wish for the days that I was 34, my brother. Okay.
From what I hear, it's a thing of like no capping, which means basically, like that's a lie that you're capping. So that's what the cap stands for. I don't know what he's referring to, right? Obviously, we can all assume what he's referring to, but it could be a friend. I mean, it could be anything, right? So, yes, Tyler's been sending cryptic tweets all off season. I think he removed the Heat from his social media bio at one point, right? And people made a big deal out of that. But I've also seen pictures and videos of him working out up to like last week in Heat gear, in Heat shirts, Heat shorts. He's obviously spent most of his offseason in Miami. He's been working out pretty much at every high school. I think Westminster, Columbus, Doral Academy. He's working out a lot at UM. So he's been down here most of the summer. So I don't know what that's referring to, but obviously, social media, they're gonna make a big deal out of that.
Is he working out at that old he practiced? What was it,
LaSalle?
Well,
Not that I've seen, but a lot of players do work out there actually.
really?
Yeah, because he's assistant coach at Cabo de la Grana. His son, well, he used to be the coach at LaSalle, and he worked out a lot of NBA guys there. Now his son, I think, is the coach at Florida Christian. So actually, Jimmy Butler, Tyler Hero, they worked out at Florida Christian as well earlier this off season because of the De La Grana family. So he players are all over Miami working out at these high schools. So it's pretty cool to
you had to have heard the story from Myra that time that we were there like 8 hours for practice, right?
Yeah. I can't even imagine that.
Oh God, we were out there waiting for 8 hours. Folks, we're not outside in the heat. We were like in a room where there is
holding room. Yeah.
But we all like threw in a couple bucks, and then we made a run to Cazzola's, which Cazzola's Pizza is like, it's like 5 minutes away from
right there.
LaSalle. Yeah. And we brought 2 big ass pies, and the pies at Cazzola's are huge. Yeah. So everybody's eating pizza and all that, and we're waiting for Riley. And I think that was the Shrinking Violets whole thing, that he called his team Shrinking Violets or something. And it was like if I remember correctly, it was like a 3 or 4 hour just film session.
That's crazy.
And then it was like another 3 hours practice or something.
Yeah. Spo will do that.
Insanity, bro.
Spo will do that. There's been days where we've gone to the arena, when we're supposed to get to the arena and we're waiting there for an hour and a half, 2 hours. But 4 hours, that's a Pat Riley.
Oh God, we were there all day. We were there longer than 4 hours, bro. We were there like total like 8 hours.
No, I would have left.
Total was easily 8 hours, bro.
I would have left.
By the time we were all done with our work and getting all the sound,
at the end of the day,
it was like 8 hours we were there, dude. It was forever. And obviously nobody leaves because you're expecting a volcano to explode.
Right, yeah, it's true. It's true. It's like, what were they talking about? What was the message? What was going on? What's this marathon about?
Is Pat Riley like murdering everybody back there? Is he butchering people? What's going on?
Who's still on the team after this practice? Yeah,
right, exactly. How many people have been traded? Like Riley's gonna come out of there. Yeah, well, we've traded half the team. I was pissed off at them or something. So yeah, it's kind of crazy with this whole situation. Although I will say this, Tyler, he hasn't made it completely ugly. No. Obviously he's going to be a little pissed, but he hasn't really gone overboard, and I give him credit for that.
Yeah, and it's not, again, I think we touched on this a few weeks ago. He's dealt with this every offseason. He has experience with this. It's like, if people make jokes, like if he could survive the Lillard trade, because that we all thought, right? We all think that's going to happen. If he can survive that, like he's going to be here forever. He survived the Harden trade discussions. He survived the Bradley Beal trade discussions. He survived the Kevin Durant trade discussions. He's been in rumors since his career started. And all credit to him, he's never really made it messy. Of course, would he rather not deal with that every offseason? Of course not. Nobody would. Nobody wants to deal with that uncertainty every summer, especially when you're a good player like him. It's not like he has underperformed his contract, or especially in his rookie deal. He was better than anybody who could have expected when he was drafted at the end of the lottery. So, I give him credit for being mature, being professional. And yes, I think he was annoyed by, again, being in rumors? Of course. But like I said, he hasn't made it messy. And that counts for something.
Yeah, the only guy that can make it messy is Messi. That's the only guy that can really make it messy is Messi himself. Overall, it is.
Is he playing tomorrow? Is he playing tomorrow?
I don't think so. I think they're going to hold him out again. If anything, he plays a couple minutes off the bench in the second half. That's what I think. I think
Toronto isn't good, right?
Yeah, Toronto is not great. You can beat them without Toronto. The problem is, you had a chance in the last game too without him, and they didn't play well. They played really, really bad. But he's played so many games in such a short time. I think he must have been close to some kind of an injury. And that's why this has been so much precaution, because when he misses the national game and then comes back to then not play that game, which he had plenty of rest at that point, that tells me he must have some kind of soreness that they're a little concerned, and they're like, you know what, Let's not push it,
let's take it
because
easy.
the last thing you want is for the dude to spend his entire offseason rehabbing.
Yeah.
And that's not going to help you. You want him healthy in the offseason so you can practice and play some friendlies and make some extra money and, all that kind of stuff. You know what I'm saying? The problem is, dude, it was such a short window to play so many games.
Yeah.
It's put a stress on
That's a lot.
everybody.
And they have a lot of games coming up now too,
Yeah.
right? They have like 5 games, I think, through the end of September, the rest of the month.
Yeah,
So it's like, it's crazy.
Yeah. It's stupid the amount of games that they have, and you can't keep doing that to him, unfortunately. It's just the way it is. You're gonna have to, if you can get in, great. If not, I love their attitude. Win the US Open Cup, because getting in the playoffs is gonna be such a mission, and then you're gonna be so beat up in the to
By the
just
time
get
you
in the
get there.
playoffs.
Yeah.
It's
If they don't make the playoffs, you win 2 cups in Messi's first like 2 or 3 months with the team. I mean, what more can you ask for at that point?
Yeah, dude. Then you reset for next year, and everybody's healthy, and you're probably going to tweak the roster and still make it even better.
Sure.
Because the Moss brothers are maniacs, is what I keep telling people. Those psychos are going to win. They only know one thing, and that's how to be aggressive and go for it, bro. And that's what they're going to keep doing. So I'm definitely looking forward to it. Point guard. What is out there in free agency? Just out of curiosity, is there still an option? Because I saw somewhere where Kelly Oubre is going to be, and he's not a point guard; he's a shooter.
Yeah, he's a wing.
But I only bring it up because when I saw Kelly Oubre, I said, well, then if talent starts to dry up, I wonder what's the deal in the point guard area, and where are there any half decent backup point guards available out there?
There's some familiar names. Goran. For one. Yeah, and he has interest to play here. That's for sure. He wants to play here. And as a backup, a guy who plays 10 to 15 minutes a game, you could do worse than that, right? And it'll be a cool story to have him back. He's beloved here in Miami, one of the best point guards in Heat history. Kendrick Nunn, another one who hasn't signed with another NBA team yet. I think there's buzz of him playing overseas somewhere.
Yeah, I'm not.
Another one, not really a true point guard, but a guy who could play as a kind of a secondary ball handler, and that, the way that he liked to play.
I don't trust him. I just don't trust him.
I think I'd rather go with Goran if it was up to me, just because he's a veteran, especially after losing UD, a veteran presence, a guy who knows how the Heat operate. And then you also have somebody on a two-way who you could promote to the 15-man roster, Jamal Ray-Bouye, who they really like.
I like him.
They've developed him into kind of a point guard. You saw his passing improve in the summer league. He's another one that, look, if the market dries out, they have to trade Kyle Lowry in that, a potential Damian Lillard trade, and they're short on point guards, you could see Jamari Bouye get promoted to the 15-man roster.
I love Bouye. I love Bouye because he's aggressive.
Yeah,
he's fearless. Too.
Yeah,
athletic, fast.
Good defender.
But I love his moxie, and that's what I like about him, because he's not a big guy, but he is absolutely fearless. And he improved from last summer league to this summer league.
Mm-hmm.
And so I thought, and that's probably, he played in their
G League. Yeah, he did for most of the year.
That's probably what it is, that he had a season of them coaching him and grooming him and all that. And I like what I saw from him in the Vegas Summer League this year, because I saw him personally last year in the Vegas Summer League, and then I didn't go to this year's, but I did watch it as always. Mm-hmm. And I like him, bro. There's a little sum there that he can develop into a backup point guard. I can see that.
Yeah, I mean, they really focus on making him more of a point guard over the last year, because he arrived to them as more of a scorer, right? That's what he was in college. He really wasn't, a guy who facilitated as much as he scored. And you saw it in Summer League. I think there were games he had 10, 11 assists in Summer League. And that's not easy to do in Summer League in shortened games. And, guys are playing a lot of iso ball because they want to, they want to score points. That's impressive. So the fact that his ball, his passing has improved, and he has a year under his belt in the Heat system. The only thing is he needs to improve as a shooter. That's his big.
Yeah, he can attack the hole, but he's not a great shooter. Yes,
right. Teams will leave him open, and that is an issue, right? When you're playing with Bam and Jimmy, you need guys who can shoot the ball. But he is an option. If they're short on point guards, he's not a bad option. A guy who's going to continue to develop in the system. He has, like you said, he's aggressive. He's athletic. He's improved as a point guard. He's good on defense. So there are some pros to his game.
The Colorado incident with Chauncey and Kyle together at that game in Boulder. It's just it's so odd that
it is, but they're really close friends. Really close friends. That was his guy. Like when
come
Kyle was
hang with me in Boulder.
I think they were invited. I don't know. I don't know how that is. I don't know the backstory, but I'm guessing they were both invited, or one of them was
Chauncey's
invited.
From there. No, that's Chauncey's.
Yeah, he's from Denver.
Right.
He's from Denver, I think. Yeah.
Right. And that's not his school. That's his
I think that's where he's from.
Area. Right. Exactly. Yeah. So I know the Deion story is the hottest story in sports. Yeah. So maybe a lot of people that know him want to go over there. I just Kyle Lowry and Deion Sanders.
Everyone wants a piece of Deion right now. Everyone wants to be.
No, I know, but those two don't look like they jive. That's all I'm saying.
It could have been Chauncey inviting Kyle.
Yeah,
right? Kyle could have been in town, and
well, then that adds more to it, my brother. That's what I'm saying.
I mean, no, there's no secret that they're really close friends, and
right, but I get it. But hey, come on over so we could talk a little bit about the franchise and. And what I expect for, because he, after the camera showed him,
I was gonna say that was funny. Yeah,
he hauled ass, bro.
Chauncey got up and left.
He hauled ass.
I mean, that's right. That's always a touchy topic in the NBA. Is like, what's the line, right? Because there's always the tampering accusations. It's like a head coach of another team with another player, especially Portland and Miami. But you have to make an exception for friends, and they're very, very close. I think that Kyle's called him a mentor of his in the past. So. Yeah, it was interesting. I knew people were going to make a big deal out of that. Who knows? Maybe, like they're human, right? Maybe there were talks about that. I'm like, oh, what happens if I'm playing for you in a couple of weeks? Like, who knows, right? So, but
hey, no, come on over, bro. Hey, come to Boulder. We'll talk about the team and we'll watch Deion's team. Oh, that is cool. Yeah. Oh shit, we're on camera.
Yes, they try to hide in the box, but not even that. They got.
You can't hide. Oh, you can't. You can only hide if you're hiding. That's the only way. But if you're out right in a suite where everybody can see you, come on, bro. They have spotters. All these TV people they're looking specifically. And then that way they can actually, hey, look over here. There's this star, that person.
Imagine if next Colorado game, Eric Spoelstra is sitting in a box with Damian Lillard. How much more attention would that get than this?
That would be awesome. Would never happen in a million years.
No.
The Heat is a lot smarter than the Dolphins.
That would not happen. That would be a big story if that ever.
If there's one franchise in town that's always playing chess, it's the Heat. Everybody else can play checkers, but that franchise is always playing chess, dude.
Yeah.
All right, what do you got going on in the Herald so folks can check you out?
Yeah, we're just monitoring the Damian Lillard situation at this point, right? Just this is crunch time. So we'll have the latest on that, however it develops over the next couple of days, however it evolves. And then next week, I will start my training camp preview, breaking down the roster, different questions surrounding the team entering camp. It's here. We're less than 2 weeks away from Media Day on October 2, and then they'll be heading to Boca on October 3 to start camp.
Good stuff. Follow him on Twitter at Anthony_Chiang. And, of course, subscribe to the Miami Herald like I and many others do. Anthony, as always, thank you, my brother. Appreciate you immensely.
Thanks, Big O. Have a good day.
You got it. Folks, you don't need to be a professional athlete to go where the pros go. The doctors at Baptist Health Orthopedic Care can see you now. Visit baptisthealth.net/ortho to request an appointment and get yourself back in the game. And I know if I had an injury like that, I would go first. I go to Baptist Health for everything else. My wife does, my daughter, my entire family. We go to Baptist Health all the time. We got a new Baptist Health right by our house, too, right off of Kendall Drive and 162nd. Really nice. And then there's another one that they opened up on 150. No, it's about 162nd or no, 160th. And Bird Road, actually, another Baptist Health, folks. I mean, they are all over the place. So if you have an injury that's keeping you from doing what you love, take charge of your health and get back in the game with the help of the all-pro staff at Baptist Health Orthopedic Care.